today I just wanted to continue our little series that we started on finding Christ in the Old Testament. You know, the Old Testament is very intentional in its writing and its design and its pattern, because the whole point, as God, directed the writing of it, was to show us Christ and to learn about the nature of God before he had even fully revealed himself. And that is a really cool and powerful thing that I think a lot of Christians underutilize. They say, oh, the Old Testament, whatever. I know it's there. I usually just ignore it. No, we need to be back in the Old Testament, exploring it and trying to find more depth to our faith there. And so today we're going to take Paul and Paul's direction through the Old Testament, because he really does a great job of showing us Christ in the Old Testament. So let's open up Hebrews 8, 1 through 6. The point of what we are saying is this: we do have such a high priest who sat down at the right hand of the throne of the majesty in heaven, and who serves in the sanctuary, the true tabernacle set up by the Lord and not by man. So he's saying we had this tabernacle, this Jewish tabernacle, but this is not the real one. There is a real tabernacle. Every high priest is appointed to offer gifts and sacrifices, and so it was necessary for this one also to have something to offer. If he were on earth, he would not be a priest, for there are already men who offer gifts prescribed by the law. They serve at a sanctuary that is a copy and a shadow of what is in heaven. Let me repeat that. They serve at a sanctuary that is a copy and a shadow of what is in heaven. This is why Moses was warned when he was about to build the tabernacle. See to it that you make everything according to the pattern shown to you on the mountain. But the ministry Jesus has received is as superior to theirs as the covenant, for of which he is the mediator, is superior to the old one, and is founded on a better promises. So what's coming on here? So what it's saying here is all these designs that were laid out in the Old Testament, the designs Moses was given on the mountain when he was given the law, these were just a shadow of what was in heaven, or a shadow of what was to come in Christ. So what does that mean? What's the shadow? So, if someone saw my profile in a shadow on the ground, they might be able to recognize it because it has elements that are similar to me: a nose, face, hair, things like that. In the same way, the tabernacle that was given to Moses and all the designs and all the different customs in there were meant to be a shadow of what's in heaven and what was promised through Christ. It wasn't the exact thing, but you could see elements of it that would point you to Christ. It was clear enough too that people nowadays, biblical scholars, call it the Gospel of Moses. These 5 books are the Gospel of Moses because they point to Christ in design, in ritual, and all these different things. They're meant to show you what's coming, who's coming, and the news that's coming. And so I just wanted to look at maybe 2 elements with you guys, 2 short elements of this law and these designs that are really cool, and I think they really point to Christ. For one, and let me put it this way too, there's tons of these, and I could go on for hours, but I only have a few minutes, and I'm going to give Adam a resource to send you guys too. It's a little website that goes through all these different pieces of design. It goes into really good depth about how they point to Christ, and so I think you guys would really get a lot from this. But let me just start with one. So inside the most holy place, there's a lampstand, and that lampstand has 7 branches. And that lampstand is symbolic of Christ, and you can find that one in it's Exodus 28, I believe. But yeah. So there's a lot of things that Moses is told that has to be done about the lamp. For example, the lamp is never to go out. It has to always be left going. Of course, it points to Christ's eternal reign. The fact that Christ's mission is not one and done. It's not to go out. It's a light forever. Also, it provides light in the most holy place, right? And what does that point to? I mean, Christ literally calls himself the light of the world. He takes on this role of light. Christ is the light of the world who illuminates truth, and not just any truth, but an ultimate truth. Another part, the gold is not made in some mold. They're not told to, mold it or do anything like that. It has to be beaten from one piece of gold. So, in the same way, Christ is gold, right? Like that's pretty clear. But he was beaten gold. So he was beaten at the cross. And in that way, through his sacrifice and through being beaten, he was made able to be a light to the world. Another part, right? There's 7 lights. Now, when we get into symbols in the Bible, what is 7? 7 is perfection or completion. And then what is light? Well, light is truth. Light is the gospel. So what is Christ? What is Christ? If Christ is this lampstand with 7 lights, what does that make Christ? Well, that makes him perfect truth, or that means that he brings us perfect truth. So there's a lot of these beautiful things that you can find throughout these design patterns. And I'm going to, once again, I really suggest you guys go over these. Lots of really cool stuff in there, about sacrifice and how that pointed to Christ's own sacrifice, or how, even the ephod, the outfit that the high priests were meant to wear, even the fabrics in there point to the mission of Christ. There's 4 different colored fabrics. Maybe you guys can look into this. 4 different colors of string, or whatever it's called, to make this outfit. And all 4 of them are symbolic of different aspects of Christ's mission on earth. So anyways, I hope this gives you guys some food for thought. There's a lot of great stuff to be found in here. And yeah, start digging for yourselves. You're going to find a lot of great stuff in the Old Testament.